Okay, friends, we'll be starting our today's class. We are discussing capital structure theory. In that context, two theories we have discussed. Can you recall what are the two theories? Can you tell me which theories we have already discussed so far?
Net income theory,
Yeah, and
net income theory, net income approach theory.
net income theory, and the other one, net operating income theory. Okay, or net income approach or net operating income. We will quickly summarize what we have learned so far. Then we will move to the next theory, which is the traditional theory or traditional approach. I am going to share with you the related files. Please see when it is visible.
सर एक डाउट था.
आपका डाउट है?
हेलो.
ओके, ठीक है. अभी विल सॉर्ट आउट दैट डाउट.
वो नेट इनकम अप्रोच थ्योरी के अंडर बुक में जो एग्जांपल दिया हुआ था उसमें था.
What are you seeing this file?
नो सर, डाउट बुक में है जो एग्जांपल.
हाँ, ठीक है, ठीक है. We'll come to that. A file, are you able to see it?
यस सर, यस सर.
These are the things we have discussed earlier. So we'll be starting our discussion from here. But before that, yeah, what doubt you are having? Tell me quickly. It is specific to a question.
सर एग्जांपल के अंदर जो दिया हुआ था उसमें एग्जांपल पढ़ूं. सर ये
Net income
एग्जांपल
theory.
दिया हुआ
Net
है.
income theory. We're talking about net income theory,
यस सर.
right? You are having
यस
study
सर,
material
नेट
with you.
इनकम. यस सर.
स्टडी मटेरियल आपका पास है?
यस सर, यस
पेज
सर.
नंबर बताओ मेरे को.
सर एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है कि a company has invested
मेरे को
of
एक
2 lakh
स्टडी मेरे
rupees
को एक मिनट
and net operating income is 54.
मेरे को स्टडी मटेरियल का पेज नंबर बताओ.
94.
ओके, हाँ, क्या इशू है इसमें बताइए.
सर उसमें जो टेबल में दिया हुआ है मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी वो कैसे डिराइव हुआ?
ओके, ये पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू मार्केट वैल्यू कैसे आपने कैलकुलेट किया? हाँ, अब जैसे आपने एस
वहाँ
कैलकुलेशन किया है ना, वैल्यू ऑफ एस, उसी फॉर्मूला यूज करके वो मार्केट वैल्यू कैलकुलेशन होगा. तो आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम है
मार्केट
ये
वैल्यू
फॉर्मूला पुट करने में?
सर मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी ये जो 4,16,000 आया हुआ है वो तो नहीं आ रहा है.
अच्छा, वो क्या
वो
आ रहा है?
कैसे आया?
ओके, व्हाट इज द एग्जैक्ट फिगर मैं आपको बाद में बताऊंगा. आई विल चेक इट वेदर दैट फिगर इज राइट और नॉट. बट मार्केट वैल्यू कैलकुलेशन करने के लिए यहाँ आपने एस कैसे कैलकुलेट किया था? ओके, यू सी सम फॉर्मूलाज वी हैव
This
ऑलरेडी
is
लर्न. ओके, आपको जो फॉर्मूला पहले
yes sir.
दिखा देता हूँ. दिस इज हाउ यू विल बी कैलकुलेटिंग मार्केट वैल्यू, राइट? दिस इज वन वे ऑफ कैलकुलेटिंग मार्केट वैल्यू और एस.
This is the
This is
equity.
one way of calculating market value. That is the only way of calculating market. कैसे वो पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन में कैसे कैलकुलेट किया? So I will check it out and let you know tomorrow. ठीक है?
Sir,
That is the
cost of equity and market value of equity same thing.
cost of equity and market value of equity. No, they are different. Cost of equity is a rate percentage. Market value equity is the amount. They are not same.
तो मार्केट वैल्यू ऑफ इक्विटी का फॉर्मूला कौन सा वाला होगा?
वही जो इक्विटी का फॉर्मूला है, द शेयर वैल्यू, एस वैल्यू, जो एस जो कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं आप देख रहे हो स्क्रीन पे.
यस सर.
स्क्रीन में क्या देख रहे हो? एस.
S is equals to EBT by KE.
Okay. Then another place I am saying what you are saying, how the S will be calculated. S or P0. P0 means price as on today.
0.
That is how you will calculate market value. Future dividend divided by cost of equity minus growth rate.
Yes, growth.
Okay. Or
Okay, sir.
whatever money is distributable to the equity shareholders divided by equity share, value of equity share. That is
Yes,
the
sir.
cost of equity. Okay. Using that formula, you will be able to calculate value of equity. Okay. Since it is relating to a specific question, I will check it out. I will read that question. Then I will let you know how that figure has arrived. Your question is only how this market value of equity has been arrived at. Okay. So both of you
Yes, sir.
will see it. Tomorrow we will be discussing that. Okay. Any other query you are having?
सर ये और जो एग्जाम्पल नेट ऑपरेटिंग इनकम अप्रोच में अंदर दिया हुआ था वो तो उससे
नहीं,
बहुत सारा
so
डाउट है
exactly you tell me कौन सा एग्जाम्पल में कौन सा कैलकुलेशन आपको समझ में नहीं आता है वो आप then we can save that.
सर वो थोड़ा तो अच्छा होता
वो थोड़ा
है यहाँ पे डिस्कशन थोड़ा करवा देते तो अच्छा होता
हाँ आप मेरे को
बुक में
पहले
समझ में
बोलोगे तब then we have to I have to read that question I will be doing it.
ओके
कौन सा
सर
क्वेश्चन है
वही
बोलो
नेट
suppose this is the question in this question you are saying that value of equity market value of equity you want to understand okay that is one then what else
एंड द सेकंड वन व्हिच इज गिवन अंडर द नेट ऑपरेटिंग इनकम अप्रोच
okay इसमें क्या डाउट है
उसमें मुझे कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा है
कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ
क्वेश्चन
रहा है ठीक है so both the questions will be handling tomorrow okay now concentrate on today's class ठीक है ये दोनों जो क्वेश्चन आप लोग किए हैं क्लास में ये तो समझ में आ गया
यस सर
okay ठीक है now focus on today's class this two examples we'll see in tomorrow's class okay now you see what I told you what we have discussed so far are you seeing the screen
यस सर
okay okay so we have discussed two theories or two approaches one is net income approach second is net operating income okay if we summarize our learning is that under net income approach, cost of debt will remain constant irrespective of leverage. Irrespective of the debt size, cost of debt will remain constant. And cost of equity will remain also constant. And cost of debt is always lower than cost of equity that we are. Okay. If that is so, since cost of debt is lower, cheaper, and cost of equity is more costly. So if I substitute debt, or if I replace equity by debt, then what will happen if I increase the proportion of the debt, my overall cost will be coming down. Okay. If overall cost will be coming down, value of the farm will increase. The concept here is KD constant, KE constant, KO reduces, KO decreases, farm value increases. Therefore, capital structure has an impact on the value. The next theory, operating income theory, debt operating income theory, tells something different. It says no, capital structure doesn't have any impact on the value of the farm. According to this theory, KD is constant. KO will also remain constant. Why KO will remain constant? Because KE will not remain constant, KE will go up. KO, which should have come down. If I increase debt, ideally KO should come down because debt is cheaper. I'm increasing cheaper source. So it should have come down, but it will not come down. Why it will not come down? Because KE will go up. It was supposed to let us say come down by a certain amount, but KE is going off by that amount. So what will happen? KO will remain constant and value of the farm will not change. Why this is happening? Because equity shareholders or the equity investors are expecting more risk. They're perceiving more risk in case of that farm. That part we are identifying as the implicit cost of debt. Debt has got two costs. One is explicit cost, which is interest. Other one is implicit cost. Implicit cost is the additional cost of equity. Additional cost of equity because of debt. That will also be called as the cost of the debt. Okay. So these are the two theories. Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now coming to the third approach or third theory. This is called as the traditional. Okay, traditional approach, as you can see, this is, you can say, the mixture of both the approaches. First case, if you are saying both the costs are constant, like equity is constant, debt are constant. Okay, second approach, it says no, cost of equity will go up. But this particular theory says what will happen, maybe up to certain time, it may remain constant. Debt cost may remain constant, equity cost may remain constant. But after that, it will go up. And if it remains constant, let us say till certain time it remains constant. So if you add debt, then what will happen? Overall cost will come down. But after some time, when it will go up, overall cost will also go up. Okay. So it says debt has an impact on the valuation of the firm. But as the proportion of debt increases in the capital structure, because of increased risk perception, KD and KE both will increase. It may remain constant up to certain point, but after that both will increase. Okay, if the both increase, then ideally initially for certain period overall cost may come down. After that it will go up. So if I see this chart, okay, or I'll show you the chart right now. So this particular line is the upper line. Let us say this is cost of equity. Okay, cost of equity, you see slightly slowly it is moving down. Maybe little bit constant initially, but it will go up. Similarly, cost of debt initially maybe it is little straight line. After that it will also go up. Okay, till that time when they are constant, overall cost of capital will come down. But when they will increase, overall cost of will again increase. So KO will first fall down, then it will. Okay. Or if I break up this chart, if I like to show this chart in a different way, you can say that it is exactly like this. Let us say cost of equity will remain constant, then it will increase. Again, it may remain constant, then it may increase. Like similarly, cost of debt may remain constant, but the moment debt holders will think risk is there, it will increase. Then it may remain constant, it may increase. So till that time, let us say till this time it is constant. So overall cost will come down. It will come to a minimum limit. Okay. But the moment both of them jump up, the overall cost will again go up. Overall cost go up and they keep on going up. But again, when they are constant, it will come down. So this will be the behavior of overall cost. Okay. So what will happen? Overall cost may initially come down, but again it will go up. Okay. Understood?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Or this theory has got certain assumptions. Let us consider these assumptions first. The rate of interest of the debt remains constant for a certain period. Thereafter, it increases. Okay, that means KD increase. Similarly, the expected rate by equity shareholders, the expected rates of or expected cost of equity shareholders remains constant, then increase gradually. Because after some time, equity shareholders perceive that this particular business, this particular farm is more risky, so their cost will also increase. So KO will remain constant. Therefore, KO will initially fall, then it will go up. Understood? So, in fact, what is happening here? This is, you can say, it's a mixture of both the theories. Okay, both the theories are mixed here. That is how we can understand. Right. The main points of this approach is that if this is so, if you understand this is going to happen, initially cost will come down, then it will go up. Overall cost will come down, then it will go up. Then we have to find out what is the ideal capital structure. Okay, what is the right kind of capital structure at which overall cost will be minimum. Okay, if you find out, then we'll use that kind of capital structure. Suppose we'll say, here if you say, this is the right point when overall cost is minimum. उसके बाद जाएंगे तो बढ़ जाएंगे. So this is the right capital structure. That means exactly here, this is the combination, debt equity combination, this we should have. Or if I say, okay, this is the lowest cost overall. Then this area, this is the lowest cost. Okay, are you seeing it? Then ideally this should be the ratio of debt equity. This should be the ideal. Because उससे अगर थोड़ा हम चेंज करते हैं फिर ओवरऑल कॉस्ट भी बढ़ जाता है. Okay, so this theory says We have to identify. We have to strive to reach the optimal capital structure. That is the capital structure at which cost is low. Okay, and that will be the capital structure at which overall cost of capital will be minimum. We have to arrive at. If we are able to arrive at that particular capital structure, then at that point value of the farm will be maximum. If you can have that kind of capital structure, value of farm can increase the value of the farm by having that kind of capital structure. Because after that, again cost will increase and value of the farm will decrease. Understood? Okay. Okay. This theory you have understood? Clear? Now, if you are clear this theory, now we will solve a question. Okay, are you ready to solve this question? Just briefly take down these questions. Do not write in detail. Briefly take down this question. We'll be solving this question. Then we'll go to the next. Okay. Farm is expecting net operating income of 1,50,000. So just take down net operating income 1,50,000. And total investment is 10 lakh. Okay. Total investment 10 lakh. Net operating income is 1 lakh. Now, the equity capitalization rate is 10%. That means you can say KE is 10%. Okay. If the farm has, okay, 10% if the farm has no debt. That means if the farm doesn't have any debt, then KE is 10%. And increase to 11% when the farm substitutes its equity capital by issuing debentures of 3 lakh. Okay, with no debt, 10%, KE is 10%. But with debentures of 3 lakh, KE is how much?
11%.
11%.
11%.
Okay, and 12.5% when debentures of 6 lakhs are issued. And with debentures of 6 lakh, KU is 12.5%. Now, if you see, it is constant, but after some time it is increasing. Okay, when no debt, 10%. When debt is 3 lakh, 11%. When debt is 6 lakh, then 12.5%. Okay. Now, question says, assume rupees 3 lakh debentures can be raised at 6%. That means cost of debentures can be 6% if it is 3 lakh is issued. But 6 lakhs can be issued at 7%. That इसका मतलब डेप्ट कॉस्ट भी कांस्टेंट नहीं है अप टू 3 लाख 6%. उसके बाद बढ़ जाता है. 3 lakh debentures can be raised as 6%. That is KD. For 3 lakh it is 6%, but KD for 6 lakh it is 7%. Okay. What you have to compute? Value of the farm, value of the shares, and average cost of. Understood the question? If you have understood the question, then we'll try to solve it. Understood? Okay. Now, how we'll solve you? I will give you the exact format. You have to write answer in this format. So, open a table like this. 5 columns, particulars, formula, then when no debt, then with debt of 3 lakh, then with debt of 6 lakh. Question is these options. Okay. Question says EBIT is how much? You see, 150 is the EBIT. And investment is how much? 10 lakh. Right? अगर 10 lakh में अगर no debt है तो 10 lakh entire equity रहेगा. If there is no debt, then 10 lakh is entire equity. Is it not? अगर 3 lakh debenture है तो how much is equity?
7 lakh.
7 lakh. अगर 6 lakh debenture है, how much is equity?
4 lakh.
4 lakh. Okay, exactly. Exactly. So now first we will write what is EBIT. EBIT question says 150, 150. All the 3 cases you can, it is given in the question, you can write it. Okay. First case,
Yes,
interest. So there is no debt, so interest will be 0, is it not? Second case,
sir.
debt, how much percentage? I think 6%. So 6%
6%.
of 150, it comes to 80. So 6% of 3 lakh. Okay, debt is 3 lakh. Next case, 7% of 6
Yes,
lakh.
sir.
6 lakh means 600. So are you getting how this interest figure has come?
Yes, sir.
Then EBIT is given to you, interest is given to you. You can calculate EBT or profit before
Sir.
tax. How much is the answer?
Yes, sir.
You can calculate.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now then you identify what is the cost of debt. Cost of debt is given to you in rate percentage. Okay. First case, there is no
Yes.
debt. Okay.
No. Yes, sir.
Second case, 6% is the cost. Next case,
Yes, sir.
7% is the cost.
7%. 7%.
Okay. Cost of
Yes,
equity
sir.
is also given to you. First case is at 10%, then 11%,
10%.
then 12.5%. Are you clear up to
Yes,
this?
sir.
With this data,
Yes,
now
sir.
first what you have to do, you have to find out value of equity. इतना ही डाटा है, आप बोलो इक्विटी कैसे, इक्विटी का वैल्यू कैसे निकालें?
EBT by KE.
Which one?
EBT by KE.
PBT by KE. Very good.
Yearly.
Very good. Then do it. PBT or dividend by KE or PAT by KE. You can calculate that thing. Do it. Use your calculator. Quickly calculate. What is yes? How much?
First one is 1500.
Okay. 1500, 1200, 860. ठीक है?
Sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes. 20.
Okay. And the debt is already given to you 0, 300, 600. And what is the value of the farm? What is V? V is equal to S plus D.
EBIT.
Yes,
S
sir.
plus D. The value of the farm is
Yes, sir.
1500. 1500.
1464. Okay.
206.
Okay. So as you can see, overall value is remaining constant, but then it is decreasing. After some point it is decreasing. Let us see what is overall cost. Overall cost is EBIT by V,
Sir.
right? So if you calculate, this is the overall cost. Now you can see overall cost is remaining constant, then it is increasing. Since overall cost is increasing, value of the farm is decreasing.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand this question?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So now let us see this comparison of all the three theories that we have learned so far. So first let us say NI theory, or we will compare all these three theories. Let's say NI theory, then NOI theory, then traditional. Right? The cost of equity is NI theory is constant. NOI first is cost of debt. Cost of debt under NI theory, net income theory is constant. NOI theory is constant, but traditional theory says it will constant, but then it will increase. Okay. Cost of equity in NI theory it is constant. NOI theory says no, it will increase. And traditional theory says it will remain constant, but after some time it will. So overall cost NI theory says it will decrease. NOI theory says no, overall cost will remain constant. Traditional theory says it will decrease. Value of the farm, this theory says it is NI theory says it will increase. NOI theory says it will remain constant. Traditional theory says yes, you can also increase the value of the farm by changing the capital structure. Right. And NI theory says value of the farm is equal to value of the equity plus value of debt. NOI theory says value of the share is the residual figure. Value of the farm is constant. Therefrom, value of the debt can be subtracted. You will be getting value of equity. Traditional theory says no. Value of the farm is value of the share plus value of equity. Whether capital structure has an impact on value of the farm or not. NI theory says yes. NOI theory says no. Traditional theory says yes. It has got some impact. Did you understand? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If you have understood this theory, now we are going to move to the next theory that is called as the Modigliani and Millar's theory. Or in short, it is also called as MM theory. Okay, Modigliani and Millar's theory or MM. Okay. Let us start this one.
Yes, sir.
So this theory also says almost same thing what our NOI theory says. Or net operating theory says that capital structure has no impact on value of the firm. Is it not? This theory is also same thing, but it has got a different logic. This theory also saying capital structure doesn't have any impact on the value of the firm. It is not relevant. Meaning, by changing capital structure, you cannot change value of the firm. Or, in other words, other things remaining same. If everything is same, two firms with two different kind of capital structure cannot command two different values. Their values will be same. Okay.
So second point
Here also
also,
NOI theory was saying, is it not? By changing capital structure, you cannot change the value of the firm. Here it is saying, but
yes,
here another logic. Here the concept is use of arbitrage process. That means use of buying and selling. The concept of buying shares when they are available at cost, available at low cost, and selling when price is high. So normally that is what people do in case of any product. When the product is cheaper, people buy, and product is dearer and they are costly, people sell. Is it not? Normally people do it.
Yes, sir.
जब चीज सस्ता होता है
Yes,
तब
sir.
खरीदते हैं, जब कॉस्टली होता है उसको बेचते हैं. Right? So everybody does this. When they do it, जब सस्ता होता है, actually what happens? Everybody buys, and everybody buys. That creates a demand pressure. Demand pressure में what exactly happens? The prices automatically okay.
increase.
And when things are costly, everybody tries to sell. When sells, it creates a supply pressure. So because of the supply pressure, prices comes down. So finally, over long run, prices comes to an equilibrium. Okay, because of this demand and supply forces. If things are available at cheap rate, people will buy. It will create demand pressure. Price will go. If price is high or things are costly, people will sell. It will create a supply pressure and price will come down. Okay, this demand and supply pressure will bring a kind of equilibrium in the market, and that concept is used to explain this theory, Modigliani and Millar's. Okay, and again I repeat, this theory says by changing capital structure, by changing the combination of debt and equity, or proportion of debt and equity, you cannot change the value of the firm. The concept here is says the value of a cake will not change if you cut it into different pieces. Value of the cake will remain same. Whether you cut it into two pieces or keep the entire cake, value will not change. Okay. Okay. Now, as I was telling you, this theory uses the principle of arbitrage to indicate that the concept of NOI, that is net operating income theory, holds. As per this theory, again, two companies having same EBIT and operating under same level of risk cannot command two different prices. If risk is same, other things are same, EBIT is same, but their capital structure might be different. So if that is so, these firms cannot command two different prices because further the theory elaborates. If at all they command two different prices, the investors will move from the company which has higher value. ठीक है, जो ज्यादा वैल्यू है उसको हम सेल करेंगे क्योंकि उनको ज्यादा पैसा मिलेगा एंड मूव टू द कंपनी व्हिच हैज गॉट ए लोअर वैल्यू. ठीक है, सपोज आप देखो, सपोज दो कंपनी बिल्कुल सेम है, कंपनी ए कंपनी बी, दोनों बिल्कुल सेम है. ठीक है, इन एवरी रिस्पेक्ट दे आर सेम, risk is same, return is same, everything is same. Okay, suppose one company is selling equity shares are available 150, another company's equity shares are available 100. ठीक है, समझ में आ रहा है एग्जांपल?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, दो कंपनी सारी सेम है, एक का इक्विटी बिक रहा है कितनी 150 रुपए में, एक का 100 रुपए. Then what you will do? Normally what people will do, if they are having shares, they will be selling the share which is 150, जो 150 में है उसको बेच देंगे. तो 150 मिला क्योंकि सिमिलर शेयर तो 100 में अवेलेबल है, उसको खरीदिए.
Yes, sir.
150 वाला बेच देंगे क्योंकि उनको पता है सेम शेयर ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ रिस्क एंड रिटर्न कॉम्बिनेशन इज अवेलेबल इन 100 रुपीज. ठीक है, बाकी 50 रुपया उनका फायदा हो. So that is the concept. This concept has been explained here. The investors will move from the company which has got higher value. They will move out. They will sell their shares and move into the company which has got a lower value. You are agreeing or not? Investors will do so. Is it not? Move for the firm which is higher value and move into the firm which has got lower. And this process of buying selling will go on till prices reaches a equilibrium. जब हर कोई 150 वाला शेयर्स बेचेगा तो व्हाट विल हैपन, प्राइस विल कम डाउन. 150 से 140 130 होगा because everybody tries to sell that. It will create a supply pressure. And when everybody buys that shares of 100, so it will create a buying pressure, demand pressure. So 100 110 120 से बढ़ता जाएगा. तो एक तरफ से प्राइस घट रहा है, दूसरी तरफ से प्राइस बढ़ रहा है. तो one fine morning they will come to an equilibrium. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This theory has got these kinds of assumptions. Firms can be classified into same risk class. That means both the firms or the firms we are comparing, they are of same risk class. We can group them under same kind of risk. Investors are rational. That means they can logically think and take a decision. If somewhere thing is available at the lower price, they will buy it, and somewhere price is available at higher price, and if they have that investment, they will be selling it. That is the behavior of a rational investor. Investors are rational. Capital markets are perfect. That means large number of buyers, large number of sellers are available. Transactions are spontaneous and costless. There is no transaction cost. Freely one can do that transaction. There is no tax at corporate level as well as personal level. Taxation issues are not there. There are no barriers and information moves smoothly. So normal market information that this product can be bought, this product can be sold are freely available. People knows this information. And these earnings are distributed as dividend. All earnings are distributed as dividend. There is no retained earning. Entire profit is distributed as dividend. And the last assumption is important. Shareholders will be able to create a personal leverage. That means just like a company can borrow money, shareholder can also borrow money at the same ratio. Understood? That assumption says shareholder will be able to create a personal leverage. Suppose in the company's capital structure there is 50% debt. In an individual shareholder can also take 50% of the investment as debt. So same kind of leverage can also be maintained by the investor at a personal. So these are the assumptions.
Sir, पर्सनल डेट बाय शेयर होल्डर क्या अफेक्ट करेगा टोटल
That
फार्म
is the
को?
assumptions in this theory. By taking that assumption, so we will be able to prove that firm's value doesn't change. Meaning of this thing, suppose you are investing in a company, ठीक है? Suppose कंपनी का कैपिटल है 1 लाख रुपए, उसका 1 लाख रुपए में क्या है, 60,000 है डेप्ट, 40,000 है इक्विटी, ठीक है? कंपनी का कैपिटल है 1 लाख, बट यू आर इन्वेस्टिंग 10,000, आपका शेयर कितने का है, 10,000 रुपए। 10,000 रुपये आप ऐसा कॉम्बिनेशन बना सकते हो, मतलब 40,000 रुपया, 10,000 से 4,000 रुपया अपना, और आप 6,000 रुपये मार्केट में लोन लेके इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो। जैसे कंपनी 4x6 में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है, आप भी ऐसे 4x6 रेशियो में इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हो। दैट इज व्हाट यू कैन से द काइंड ऑफ लिवरेज द कंपनी इज मेंटेनिंग, shareholder at his individual level can also maintain that kind of leverage. Understood?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Are you getting these assumptions?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now let us move. Now, if that is so, we'll take this example. As you can see, there are two firms. Okay, this is example only. I'll be explaining you this example today. Tomorrow again we'll redo this example so that it can be easily be understood. So both the firms, you can see what is the EBIT, EBIT,
18,000.
18,000, 18,000. Both the firms have same EBIT. Okay. Market price of the share, you see one case, it is how much? Firm A, how much is the market value of shares?
1 rupees.
1.
And the second case, how much?
1.20.
1.20.
120. In which firm value of the share is more?
And B.
Or B?
Only.
So normally what should happen? With an investor, what he should do? Which share he should sell and which share he should buy?
The investor will sell the share of farm B and will buy the share of farm A.
So, okay, right.
Yes, sir.
And the capital structure of the firm A, if you see, entire money is equity. 1,50,000 rupees is equity. You know? Entire money is equity. And in firm B, what is the capital structure? 90-60. Both the cases capital is 1 lakh, 1,50,000, 1,50,000. Is it not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But firm A is an all equity firm, there is no debt. And firm B has debt and equity. Equity is 90 and debt is 60.
60.
Okay.
60.
Now read the question. What is asked in the question?
Mr. A will hold the 9,000.
Last part, what is asked?
Advise
Mr. X
Mr. X who hold 9,000 share of face value of rupees 1 in farm B.
So फार्म बी में उनका कितनी है? 9,000 शेयर. फार्म बी का टोटल इक्विटी शेयर्स कितनी है?
90.
कितनी?
90,000.
90,000.
90,000.
90,000.
इसमें बी का शेयर कितनी है?
9,000.
मिस्टर एक्स का शेयर कितनी है? 9,000.
9,000.
9,000.
इसका मतलब मिस्टर एक्स का होल्डिंग कितनी है? कितनी परसेंटेज होल्ड करता
10%.
है? 10%. ठीक है, ये आइडिया आपको मिल गया. अब देखते हैं what मिस्टर एक्स should do if they follow MM theory, right? Modigliani and Villars theory. What he will do? So let us say what is the advice you are giving, right? Advice is that Mr. X will sell his holding in company B. Okay, and you see,
Yes, sir.
इसको बेचेंगे, 9,000 शेयर को बेचेंगे 1,20,000 रुपए में, फिर कंपनी ए का शेयर खरीदेंगे. ठीक है, उससे करने से उनका फायदा होगा. वो फायदा होने से एवरी इन्वेस्टर विल डू दैट. That is one thing. But again, MM theory tells us one more assumption that he will be able to create a personal leverage. मतलब और भी वो इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं बोरोइंग करके. कैसे बोरोइंग करेंगे? ये देखिए, अगर कंपनी 90,000 में 60,000 रुपया बोरो कर सकता, तो वो भी तो 9,000 से 6,000 रुपया बोरो कर सकते हैं या नहीं?
Yes, sir.
They will be able to create a personal leverage means अगर कंपनी 90,000 इक्विटी में 60,000 रुपीज बोरो कर सकता है, तो दिस शेयर होल्डर who is having 9,000 shares also can borrow 6,000. So what the shareholder will do? Sell his shares plus borrow 6,000 rupees, and the total money he'll be investing in farm A. Okay,
सर ये 9,000 में 6,000 कैसे हो सकता है?
इससे
9,000 अगर ये
shareholder can
1.5 लाख
create
से
personal leverage. Personal leverage means at personal level also he can borrow. ठीक है,
सर
तो कंपनी कैसे बोरो कर रहा है? जब 90,000 उसका इक्विटी है, कंपनी कैन बोरो 60,000.
यस सर
ठीक है, ओके. सो दिस
यस सर
इज हैविंग 9,000 और अपना इक्विटी है 9,000 रुपया. वो भी तो 9,000 इक्विटी से 6,000 रुपए बोरो कर सकता है. बोरो करके वो पूरा अमाउंट को इन्वेस्ट करेगा. जितनी ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट करेगा उसको उतनी ज्यादा फायदा होगा ना. अगर आपको कोई बेनिफिट मिल रहा है तो आप क्या चाहोगे? मैं तो इन्वेस्ट करूंगा प्लस कुछ बोरो करके भी इन्वेस्ट करूंगा. एंड योर बोरोइंग ऑप्शन इज अवेलेबल. You can borrow. If you can borrow, then you will be borrowing. That's the assumption of MM theory. Okay. Now, let us see what Mr. X will do. You will sell the shares of company B and can borrow. कितनी रेट में बोरो करेगा? जितनी इंटरेस्ट कंपनी दे रहा है. ये देखिए कंपनी दे रहा है कितनी इंटरेस्ट? 6%. 6% में बोरो करेगा. And borrow loan at the rate of 6% in the proportion of his holding in company B. उसका होल्डिंग कितनी थी? 10%. जो वो 6,000 रुपीज बोरो करेगा. And purchase of shares of A at ₹1 because A company के share value 1 rupee. By doing so, he'll be in the advantageous position. Okay, he will gain some money, and consequently, all other investors will follow the same scheme. Everybody will be selling the shares of company B, then borrow some money, then invest in company A. So automatically, B's value will go down, A's value will go up, and they will come to an equilibrium. Let us calculate what is the net advantages of this. Okay, now watch this calculation carefully. शेयर होल्डिंग पैटर्न. मिस्टर एक्स शेयर होल्डिंग कितनी है? 10% आपने बताया अभी. ठीक है,
9,000.
9,000 मतलब 10%. सेल्स इज होल्डिंग इन कंपनी बी एंड बोरो 60,000. बोरो 6 बोरो एक्चुअली हाउ मच? 60,000.
60,000.
नाउ व्हाट इज द शेयर प्राइस? 9,000 रुपया बेचेगा तो 9,000 शेयर बेचेंगे तो 9,000 into 1.2 10,80,000 because बी कंपनी का शेयर वैल्यू है कितनी? 1 रुपये 20 पैसे. इनका वैल्यू शेयर होल्डिंग कितनी? 9,000 रुपया. 9,000 रुपये ना 9,000 शेयर है. 9,000 शेयर को 1 रुपया 20 रुपये 1 रुपया 20 पैसा ईच में बेचेंगे. प्लस उसका जो होल्डिंग है 10% मतलब 6,000 शेयर 6,000 रुपया वो बोरो करेंगे कितनी इंटरेस्ट में? 6% इंटरेस्ट. ओके, सो आवर कंडीशन इज दैट सेल प्राइस इज 10,800 रुपये उनको मिलेगा शेयर बेचने से, प्लस 10% ऑफ 60,000 वो बोरो करेंगे मतलब 6,000 रुपीज बोरो करेंगे. टोटल उनके पास होगा 16,800. 16,800 रुपया वो इन्वेस्ट कर सकते. आप ये पूछ सकते हैं ये बोरोइंग क्यों वो करेगा? ये डाउट आएगा, राइट? बोरोइंग इसलिए करेगा, बोरोइंग नहीं करेगा तब भी उसको फायदा है, लेकिन यू विल ट्राई टू मैक्सिमाइज हिज वेल्थ. ठीक है, अगर उसको 6% में लोन मिल रहा है तो क्यों नहीं लेगा? क्योंकि जितनी वो ज्यादा इन्वेस्ट करेगा उतनी ज्यादा उसको फायदा. So as a rational investor, he will try to maximize his wealth, try to maximize his profit. So he will also borrow 6,000 rupees. Total 16,800 rupees will be available with him. Okay?
सर ये 6,000 कहाँ से बोरो करेगा वो?
मार्केट से. जैसे कंपनी 60,000 कहाँ से बोरो किया था? मार्केट से किसी से भी बोरो किया था.
यस सर
ठीक है, ये भी बोरो करेगा फ्रॉम द मार्केट.
यस सर
ठीक है. नाउ who will buy shares of company A? A company का share value is ₹1. So out of from 16 by investing rupees 16,800 shares, you will be getting how many shares? 16,800 number of shares. ठीक है, 16,800 शेयर्स उसको मिले. and Mr. X holding will be, Mr. X holding कितनी होगा, कितनी परसेंटेज होगा, टोटल कैपिटल तो है 1,50,000 रुपए, उसमें 16,800 रुपए इनका है, तो उनका होल्डिंग होगा 11.2%, 11.2% उनका है इन्वेस्ट, ठीक है, अंडरस्टूड। और कंपनी ए का ईबीआईटी कितनी है, 18,000 रुपए क्वेश्चन में दे रखा है। कंपनी ए में कोई डेब्ट नहीं है, कोई इंटरेस्ट नहीं जाएगा, टोटल शेयर होल्डर को, सब शेयर होल्डर को मिलके मिलेगा 18,000 रुपए, 18,000 रुपए मिलेगा सारी शेयर होल्डर को, एंड मिस्टर एक्स होल्डिंग इज 11.2, so Mr. X will get 11.2% of 1800, that means 2016 रुपए उनको मिलेगा, ठीक है, टोटल उनको डिविडेंड मिलेगा 2016, लेकिन उससे वो क्या करेंगे, वो तो फिर लोन भी ले रखे ना 6%, तो उसमें वो इंटरेस्ट पे करेंगे, जो 6,000 रुपए में 6% इंटरेस्ट पे करेंगे, 360 रुपए इंटरेस्ट पे करेंगे, उनको नेट कितने मिलेगा, 1656 रुपए। एक काम करने से उसको 1,656 rupees he is getting. Did you understand this calculation?
Yes,
Are you getting?
yes sir.
Okay. Now we'll see, अगर वो B में कंटिन्यू करते तो उनको क्या मिलता, assuming that he is continuing in company B, then B's EBIT भी वही 18,000 rupees, but B has got a loan 60,000 rupees, उसमें लोन था, तो 60,000 rupees में कंपनी इंटरेस्ट दे देता 3,400 रुपए, 3,600 रुपए, so profit available to the shareholders is 14,400 rupees. So Mr. X share, Mr. X उसने कितनी होल्ड करते थे कंपनी बी में 10%, तो मिस्टर एक्स को मिलता 1,450, 1,450 उनको मिलता अगर वो बी में कंटिन्यू, लेकिन अभी उनको इंटरेस्ट जाने के बाद मिल रहा है 1,650, सो उनका नेट गेन कितनी है, हाउ मच इज नेट इनकम,
216.
260। आप समझ रहे हो कंप्यूटेशन, हमने क्या किया, हमने we thought that okay, Mr. X will be selling his shares in company B, he will be getting some money, plus he will be collecting some money from the market, he will take a loan from the market in the same proportion at a particular interest, and both the monies will be invested in company A, and he will be getting dividend. Out of this dividend he will be first paying interest, and there will be some balance money will be left with. Balance money that will be left out is 1,656. Okay, that is the money you will be getting if they continue with if they take the shares of company A. But in case you would have continued with company B, you would have got only 1,440. 1,440. So by doing this process, he is getting a net benefit of 216. Are you understanding this calculation?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now what will happen? If this is so, every investor will follow this process. Every investor will do the same thing. As a consequence to that, what will happen? This share value will go down because everybody is trying to sell these shares. Nobody is going to buy. ये कम होता जाएगा, maybe 110, 120 से 110 हो जाएगा, and everybody tries to buy these shares. मतलब यहाँ buying pressure होके ये भी 110 हो जाएगा, मतलब ए भी 110, ए भी 110, तो दोनों पैरेलल हो गए ना, दोनों इक्विलिब्रियम आ गया ना, so that will not going to happen. मतलब फिर value of the shares will remain same because of this equilibrium. Understood this logic?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now there are some other issues are also there. What we'll do now? Wait a minute. Now, two more things. That is what will happen to this theory, this MM theory. Here we have assumed that there is no interest. We'll see there is no tax. We'll see the impact of tax. Just we'll understand what is the consequence of tax. In our next class, we'll be learning that concepts. Okay. Today we'll be stopping here. Acha, Rosalie, you had some specific questions.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is regarding those two questions, those two illustrations in the book. Rosalie, Rosalie, you are listening?
Yes, sir.
So you have queries regarding those two examples. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll do that. Like tomorrow we will catch up those two examples. Then we'll complete this theory with implication of tax that we'll be covering in our tomorrow's class. So tomorrow we are going to meet around same time. Okay, 3:30 tomorrow. Okay. So thank you very much. We'll catch up.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.